For both guys and girls, a rounder, firmer butt is seen as more attractive than a flatter one, and growing a bigger, rounder butt is entirely possible with just 4 exercises. Beyond aesthetics, a strong-toned butt contributes to the overall functionality of your body and will increase your overall athletic performance, on top of alleviating any back and hip pain. The only problem is that most people go about doing their glute exercises the wrong way. So let's just dive right into the best 4 glute exercises and how exactly to do them for the fastest results. Number 1. Barbell back squat. Squats engage the entirety of the glute muscles in one movement, but more so on the gluteus maximus, making them a phenomenal heavy hitter. Plus, with the use of weights, you can increase the weight by smaller amounts to progress. According to studies, when used alongside the progressive overload technique, barbell squats cause mechanical tension, muscle damage, and metabolic stress, 3 significant factors for hypertrophy, which is muscle growth. Step 1. Begin by grabbing the barbell a little wider than shoulder width apart and unrack the barbell with the meaty part of your shoulders below your neck. Step 2. Take a deep breath and build tension in your core and step back into a position with your feet wider than shoulder width apart, keeping your chest open with your elbows pinned down and back. Step 3. Maintain an upright torso and push your hips back, lowering into a squat and bending your knees until your thighs pass parallel to the floor, aiming for the crease of your hips to drop below your knees. Step 4. Explosively drive the floor away to push yourself back to standing. Make sure your back is straight and stable, then imagine slowly dropping your pelvis to the ground as low as you can comfortably go. The barbell back squat is actually more of a full body exercise. The hack squat, on the other hand, emphasizes more on the quads. I know your goal is to grow your butt, but you'll want your quads to be just as strong so they share the work when doing exercises that target both muscles. Alternative 1. Hack squat. Easier and better for beginners, hack squats demand less pressure on the spine and are less taxing. With this squat variation, people can safely train to failure and do 6 to 15 reps. Hack squats would make a good accessory exercise to barbell back squats. Although your legs do most of the work during hack squats, your butt still comes into play. Step 1. To start, stand facing away from the machine with your feet shoulder width apart and positioned in the top half of the platform. Step 2. Your shoulders and hips should be resting against the backrest and your hands holding onto the handlebars. Step 3. Bend your knees until your thighs are parallel or just below parallel with the floor, keeping your shoulders and hips pressed against the backrest. Step 4. Press through your feet to straighten your legs and return to standing. Also, consider doing a reverse hack squat. You just need to face the machine instead of away from it. This small modification shifts the activation to your hamstrings and glutes instead of your quads. Another superior exercise for achieving a nice plump butt is the hip thrust. Find out in a bit what makes it exceptionally good. Bad news: not all gyms have a hack squat machine on hand. Good news: most, if not all gyms have a Smith machine, and this piece of equipment can also replicate the hack squat move. Alternative 2. Smith machine squat. The Smith machine squat is simple, yet almost as impactful as the barbell squat at building your glutes for a firmer butt and activating your quads and calves for stronger legs. If you've been doing traditional squats regularly, then you'll learn the Smith machine squat fast. You only need to nail the form. Some guidelines you should remember. Step 1. Position your feet properly, not directly under you, nor too far forward. To perfect this, simply walk your feet a step or 2 forward from the machine before starting to take a wider stand than usual. Step 2. Rest the bar on the soft part of your upper back, not your neck. It's normal to feel uncomfortable at first. It'll get better once you drive your elbows back and down as you squeeze your shoulder blades. Step 3. Keep your movements slow and controlled, especially during the downward motion. Step 4. Also, maintain an upright position throughout the exercise. If you find your back rounding at the bottom movement of the squat, try doing a wider stance. Step 5. Lastly, always execute the squats in full motion, no half reps. The second exercise you must include in your glutes workout is another variation of the squat that's been the talk of many these days, and it's none other than number 2, the Bulgarian split squat. This exercise is pretty much a combination of a squat and a lunge. It's a unilateral exercise that builds strength and significantly recruits the gluteus maximus and minimus. What I particularly like about the Bulgarian split squat is that it can be easily adjusted to better isolate the butt muscle. A glute-focused Bulgarian split squat involves hinging at your hips and leaning your torso forward. This change in form forces those glutes to activate and work harder during the ascending motion. Some tips to help you activate your glutes more effectively with the Bulgarian split squat. Step 1. Keep your hips square and facing forward during the exercise. Step 2. Consciously engage your glutes from start to finish. Step 3. Go deeper into the squat to boost glute activation. Aim to lower yourself until your front thigh is parallel to the ground or slightly below, while your knee is aligned with your ankle. Step 4. Perform the squat in a slow, controlled manner. Step 5. Always contract your glutes at the top of the movement. Step 6. Put more weight on your front heel during the squat to place more emphasis on your glutes while reducing the involvement of your quads. Alternative 1. Smith Reverse Lunge. The Smith Machine Reverse Lunge is a comprehensive lower body exercise that works the quads as well as the calves, glutes, and hamstrings. The use of the Smith machine further enhances this exercise by offering stability, allowing for smoother execution and the ability to lift heavier weights with confidence. To do it, Step 1. Start by adjusting the bar to about upper chest height. Step 2. Now, stand under the bar, positioning it across your shoulders, not your neck. Step 3. Grip the bar with hands slightly wider than shoulder width apart for stability. Step 4. Lift the bar by rotating your wrists and stepping back from the rack. Step 5. Stabilize your stance by ensuring your feet are hip width apart. Then, take a controlled step back with one foot, planting the ball of your foot on the ground. Step 6. Lunge down by bending your knees to make a 90-degree angle with both legs. The knee of the leg stepping back should gently touch or nearly touch the ground to achieve a full range of motion. Step 7. Return to the starting position by driving through the heel of your front foot. Deadlifts are up there alongside squats as some of the most superior strength and muscle building exercises, and for many good reasons. One deadlift variation that's especially great at growing the glutes is the number 3, Romanian deadlifts. Hailed as the king of glute exercises, it's no wonder Romanian deadlifts are a staple in practically all glute workout regimens. With only minimal movements, it engages nearly the entire backside of the body, especially putting more stress on the hamstrings and glutes. The key to perfecting the Romanian deadlift form is to focus on the hinge motion. Romanian deadlift equals hinge motion and should not be confused with a squat. To do this exercise correctly, make sure to: Step 1. Focus on sending your hips and butt back as you lower the barbell to the ground. Imagine your hips being the hinges of a gate. Step 2. Maintain that position and lower yourself as far as you comfortably can. Ideally, the barbell will land at least in the center of your shins. Step 3. Also, when hinging your hips, keep your back and legs straight. The glutes move the hips. Thus, if the hips aren't moving, the glutes aren't growing. So concentrate on the hip movement. If Romanian deadlifts aren't clicking for you, you should try back extensions instead. Alternative 1. Back extensions. Although back extensions are known for training the lower back, they can also be tweaked to target the glutes. Since the load is more in the middle range, back extensions are typically performed in the higher rep range, unlike deadlifts. To do glutes-focused back extensions, first, you need a 45-degree back extension machine. Step 1. Set the glute machine until it's level with your pubic bone, placing your hip bones above the top of the pad. Step 2. Place your feet on the platform with your toes pointing out so that both feet are at a 45-degree angle. Step 3. Cross your arms and start lowering your torso, all the while engaging your abs and rounding your back. Step 4. Maintain your form as you raise your torso back up, never allowing your back to fully straighten. Step 5. Pause momentarily, then drive up. One of the pros of strength training is having room for progressive overload, a training method that consistently challenges the body, say by increasing the weights to maximize results. The question now is, when is it time to add more load? More on that coming up. Number 4. Hip thrusts. Hip thrusts are popular glute building exercises and are very versatile. You can use dumbbells, kettlebells, and resistance bands, but nothing burns quite as hard as barbell hip thrusts. Your hip thrust primarily works your gluteus maximus, which contributes the most to the appearance and shape of your buttocks. Here are some pointers to maximize glute growth with hip thrusts. Step 1. Position your feet in a way that leads to your shins being perpendicular to the floor during the top of the movement, so your glutes get the most of the heavy lifting. Step 2. Push through your heels to activate your glutes and hamstrings more. Step 3. Keep your back stiff and neutral by squeezing your core and glutes. Step 4. Make sure to pause, then squeeze your glutes at the top of the movement. Step 5. Fully extend your hips at the top of the movement to achieve a full range of motion. Bonus content. Maximizing your glute workouts with these tips. Tip 1. Healthy eating habits. It's important to eat the right food so your body gets quality fuel to function and perform your workouts. Follow a well-balanced diet rich in proteins, carbohydrates, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. Tip number 2. Proper hydration. Staying hydrated before, during, and after exercise is just as crucial. Dehydration can lead to poor performance, fatigue, and increased risk of injury. Tip 3. Consistency. One of the pillars of a successful fitness program is consistency. Follow a consistent workout routine with moderate intensity. Regular and shorter is better than sporadic and intense. Tip number 4. Recovery and rest. Respect the limits of your body and rest when it tells you to. Overtraining can result in injury and burnout. Make sure you get enough quality sleep and consider doing active recovery, as in engaging in low-impact activities like this, or this on recovery days. Here's the catch. You're bound to hit a plateau when you perform the same workout with the same amount of load. And this happens a lot more often than you think. Fortunately, you can avoid this pitfall by simply following a certain training technique, which you'll learn in this next video. So make sure you watch it.